Okay, could you introduce yourself?
My name is Darin. I'm the Greene County Prosecuting Attorney.
Okay, and we were just talking a minute ago, and I just wanted you to elaborate. We were talking about media and press relationships and how it's changed.
Well, I think that what started it was a discussion of what is the biggest crisis maybe facing the judicial system. And I would say the greatest crisis is the inability or unwillingness of the media right now to seriously cover the courts. When I started over 22 years ago, we had someone from the newspaper every day in the courtrooms looking at cases, telling the public what the judges were doing, what the prosecutor was doing, what was going on in the system. Today you don't have that. We rarely have anyone show up because most news is turned into entertainment. Courts are not entertainment, even though you have popular shows like CSI and others. The reality is that most court proceedings are boring and dry, and so they're not covered, they're not sexy. But the downside of all that is then the public's not getting good information about what's going on in the courtrooms. They're not getting good information about what their judges are doing. They're not getting good information about what the prosecutors are doing. And I'm not saying that anybody's doing anything wrong, but there's lack of accountability. And at the end of the day, that could be very dangerous for everyone. Because one of the key concepts of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution is that you have a government, especially when it comes to criminal charges, that is balanced by the people serving on juries, by the people knowing what the judges and the people are doing. You don't have that. Instead, you have people not willing to do jury duty, which is very dangerous, and you have no coverage of what everybody's doing. Instead, you rely upon the prosecutors releasing press releases describing what they've been doing. Maybe they're true, but what if you have a prosecutor that's not really doing his or her job, and you just rely on his press releases and you get a false picture of what he's doing because no one's looking beneath it what the facts are. So to me, there's a brewing crisis in the whole integrity of the criminal justice system and, well, criminal and civil cases, the whole justice system, because there's no scrutiny every day that holds us accountable.
In your courts, do you allow recordings of the court sessions? Because that makes it difficult for, at least for me personally, and maybe other people are a little bit, it's what you do, you're one of only two offices that you actually have to have a specialized degree in.
Right.
And the proceedings, it takes us a little bit longer. Maybe if there was, what you were saying is at one time, the Springfield News Leader had someone there every day. Every day. And that makes a difference because they're familiar with what's going on. And you think that, so we're doing a disservice to the public if we're not covering the courts properly.
Right. I think we're creating a danger, and I think that's why people are disillusioned with what's going on in the judicial system, because they're not informed about what's going on. But no one really cares. Most people are complacent until they become a victim and the system doesn't work right for them. Then they realize there's a problem, but by then it's too late.
And what's your word to employers or how can we improve participation in Greene County or in Southern Missouri with jury duty? What's the biggest problem there?
I think any business owner has a vested interest in seeing that there is law and order. I mean, we have men and women in Iraq today trying to fight for a society where you have a basic rule of law so that businesses can operate in an environment that is safe and free from violence. Well, we may not have violence here on that scale, but the reality is, as a businessman, you should encourage your employees to go serve on a jury. You should pay their salaries while they go serve on a jury, because I would submit to you that your long-term business climate is determined by the quality of justice that's coming out of the courthouse, and unless you have qualified jurors in there, then you're going to end up with travesties. Not that we've had that happen here yet, but I'm just saying that you need people that have a stake in the system, men and women who are working, who earn salaries, who pay their bills, who are raising their kids, who are paying their mortgage. Those people need to be on jurors. If they don't come, we end up with people that don't necessarily have a stake in the system and may not be the best jurors, and certainly we are not going to get a cross-section of the community.